standing right outside the governor's headquarters building and the carriage house. And the governor's headquarters was home of Governor William Hendricks, 1822 to 1825, while he was governor of Indiana. Front room was governor's headquarters. Hendricks was also secretary of Constitutional Convention House. House was built in 1817 by Davis Floyd, territorial auditor and treasurer and member of Constitutional Convention. Floyd had been convicted 1806 of aiding Aaron Burr. House purchased 1841 by Judge William A. Porter, noted lawyer, judge, and staunch Whig leader who served many terms in the state legislature and was Speaker of the House 1849. The home since 1841 of Judge Porter and descendants. So here it is right here, governor's headquarter building right next to the carriage house. Let's go. Welcome to another video, good people. This is P9, and I am here in Corydon, Indiana. Corydon is a town and county seat of Harrison County, Indiana, which is in turn one of the Harrison townships, is one of the townships, 12 of them in Harrison County. What's so important about Corydon? Well, Corydon was founded in 1808 and served as the original capital of the Indiana Territory from 1813 to 1816. In 1816, once Corydon achieved statehood, once Indiana achieved statehood, Corydon remained the capital for the first 10 years, from 1816 to 1825, until the state capital was moved to Indianapolis, where it has been ever since. But this is Corydon, Indiana. And this is a marker of John Shields, Lewis, and Clark. Shields was born in 1769 in Virginia, served as a private for the entire Lewis and Clark expedition from October 19, 1803 until October 10, 1806. One of its 9 young men from Kentucky. He was a skilled gunsmith and blacksmith. So that is a marker for John Shields, who accompanied Lewis and Clark on their expedition to the Pacific Northwest. And this is a nice limestone / marble cutout. It has Corydon, the pastoral elegy. And at the dawn of the 1800s, territorial Governor William Henry Harrison rode horseback through the valley and grew to admire the serenity of its hills and streams and the intrepid determination of pioneer settlers. So this right here, in essence, is a historical monument. And when the still night was unfurled, her robes or the hamlet around gray twilight retires from the world and the darkness encumbers the ground. So in essence, this is a really nice carving or engraving. And it was a project of the Corydon Millennium Committee of 2001. And this, by the way, people, sits outside the Corydon Visitor Center, which is this building right here. Corydon has become actually a tourist destination due to its many historic buildings and its status of the original state capital of Indiana. As you can see right here. So you can come over here and get brochures and travel information if you, if you're visiting Corydon. It also gives, I guess, some information on nearby hotels. And here's a Masonic temple right here. The Corydon Convention of Freemasons, and it was originally the home of Reuben Nelson, or at least Reuben Nelson's home was 2 blocks east of here, and it was 11 master masons resembling or representing the 9 lodges in Indiana assembled December 3rd, 1817, and called a meeting at Madison to organize a Grand Lodge. So this is a Grand Lodge right here in Corydon. It's another historical building, looks like right here. It has Conrad's at the top. But this is right here, it's a music spot, it's a music store. And in Corydon, the name Conrad is synonymous with the word music. The bandstand on Corydon's town square is named after Hurley Conrad, a respected musician who joined Conrad Music in 1919. Hurley was the younger son of Charles Conrad, who founded Conrad Music in 1890. And they actually operated this store back in the late 1800s. And Hurley took over operations in 1927 when he expanded the store to include band instruments and later furniture and appliances. So that's the historical significance of this Conrad's building. And you have this building right here. It's the Methodist Episcopal Church, erected in 1826. And this is the site of the first Methodist church in Corydon. The lot purchased from Isaiah Boone, son of Squire Boone, in 1826. Earlier, Corydon was a station on Silver Creek Methodist Circuit. Services were held in Corydon as early as 1816. Really nice. It's getting kind of windy out here. I'm over here by the town square in Corydon. I'll make my way over there shortly, across the street. But where I'm on, the street that I'm on right now is Elm Street. And you have your mom and pop stores down this way. This is a flower shop, a florist that has been operating since 1955. So we're talking 70 years. Shout out to them. And this looks like a radio station called Capital Country. So they have a radio station, looks like plays country music. Really nice. And check out this mural. You know, I love murals. And it's at the side of this building called the J.J. Bullitt building. But this mural with a bunch of colors just basically states, "Greetings from Corydon, Indiana." And it was put together by Carrie John's Art. So there goes the social media tag right over here. Really nice. And J.J. Bullitt built this large 2-story brick building in 1912 and operated his hardware store for several years. The spacious second floor contained 3 offices on the west end, with most of the floor used for recreational activities like dancing, skating, and basketball. So as you can see right here, it's a 2-story building, and it was used for many recreational activities. And it was also the home of a grocery store. So it was a hardware store and a grocery store operated by J.J. Bullitt. So a historical figure right here in Corydon. I'm over here now at the corner of Elm Street and Chestnut Street. There's another historical building right here, the Emmett Bean Blossom building. And check this out right here. This is the Bicentennial Park. This is Bicentennial Park right here in Corydon. And it was established in 2016 to commemorate the bicentennial, aka the 200th year of Corydon's establishment. And check this out. You have these nice little fountains right here on this rock. Some nice little pieces of art right here on this sign over here. I don't know if this is marble or limestone, because Indiana limestone is very popular here in Indiana. But it has Duke Energy. Shout out to them. I guess they're the provider of the services out here, electrical services. It's really dope. You know, I like little parks like this, especially the ones that are modernized, like this one right here. And you even have this brick layout right here that has the Indiana state symbol with a torch, it looks like, which is on the state flag. So this is really nice. I wonder if this is a river over here. Actually, this is a creek. It's called the Little Indian Creek over here. So it's right over here. Here goes a gazebo in front of Bicentennial Park. But yeah, check this out. This is Little Indian Creek over here, right next to downtown Corydon. Very peaceful. It looks like over across the street are a few trailers and RVs, or at least across the creek is some trailers and RVs. Check this out. This over here is the farmers market. This is the location where they have the Corydon farmers market. Being that it's so cold, they obviously they're not going to have anything in harvest. It's out of season for harvesting, but this is where the site of the farmers market is. It's a pretty nice little area. Had to come over here because I just saw something very nostalgic. This is the radio flyer wagons. I remember, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, especially you 80s and 90s babies, are familiar with the radio flyer wagons. They got them hooked to this wooden post over here. But really nice. Really nice. A farmer's market over here in downtown Corydon. Check out this beautiful mural over here on Mulberry Street. I'm at the corner of Mulberry and Chestnut Street. And this is a really dope mural, very colorful. Illustrates the history of Corydon. Really nice. Again, this is another piece of art by Carrie Johnson. So shout out to her. 2022, I think, is when this was painted on the side of this building, which is housed by the Zimmerman Art Glass establishment. So I'm gonna make my way back over to the city square. Now, this is an antique mall right here, Vintage Treasures. Chestnut Street Market. And this is the Chestnut Cottage right here. This building was established in 1900, but now it's occupied by a barber shop. I like how they maintain these buildings, these historical buildings from centuries ago. It's always what makes these cities very historically rich. Lazy Cow Creamery and Sweets. Let's not forget, Corydon has established itself as a touristy city or town, whatever you want to call it, due to the historical significance of it. Interesting. Lazy Pot, some cannabis company. Oh, wow. And it sits right next to this Harrison County Arts building. There's a bar right here. The Java bar called Kent Java Bar. Okay. Here's another historical building, which is now occupied by a modern kitchen and drinks called 1816. But it's at the corner of Capitol Avenue and Chestnut Street. It's called the Schaefer Building. And the Schaefer Building was built in 1949. In 1949, Austin Jocko Timberlake, I don't know if he's related to Justin Timberlake, but opened Jock's Lunch, which grew into an iconic spot in Corydon and Harrison County. Affectionately called Jocko's, the diner was a popular spot for all, including teenagers wanting to gather after ball games, as well as adults looking for a quick bite to eat. So this is an Italiante building, and this was constructed actually in 1892. But I believe this actual restaurant was established in 2019, according to this mural right here. And this also was done by Carrie Johns Art, this mural. So Carrie Johns does a lot of murals. I felt like that name rings a bell, like I heard that name. Like I've seen that name before when I've covered other cities. Very talented muralist. Now this is the Davis building, and it was built after 1892. It was initially destroyed by a fire, but it was rebuilt, and it now occupies a tattoo parlor. Now here I am at the historical City Square, right here in Corydon. Now I believe this is the original Capitol building right here, but this marker reads that the capital of Indiana territory was moved to Corydon from Vincennes in 1813. This building became the first state capitol in 1816 before offices were moved to Indianapolis in 1825. Okay, so this is the original state capitol building right over here. This is a statue of, I believe, Frank Louis O'Bannon. It was dedicated in 2008 by artist Raymond Graff. So this is him right here. This is Frank Louis O'Bannon sitting down. Nice sculpture. Again, Raymond Graff is the artist of that sculpture. It is just a little, some bullet points of the history of Frank Louis O'Bannon. You guys can freeze frame this if you want. It's a lot to read. But in essence, he played a huge part in the politics of Indiana. He was a lieutenant governor of the state of Indiana. He was also the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, to put it, basically just to wrap it up as far as the synopsis. And this is Robert Presley O'Bannon. I presume this will be his brother. Either his brother or his father, I'm not sure. This is Louis McKellen O'Bannon. So this is the O'Bannon family, basically. Okay. It's a lot of history in this small town. I mean, there's only 3,000, a little over 3,000 residents that live in Corydon. So it's a very small town. But it's a lot of historical value to it. And this is a bell right here that was crafted in love and memory of David Dukes, MD. This was erected in 1991 in remembrance of Dr. Dukes. I say Dr. Dukes because he has MD at the end of it, the title at the end of his name. The bell predates the Civil War and may have been in the First Methodist Church around the early 1800s when the first state capitol was built in Corydon, Indiana. Okay. And again, you have over here, you have this gazebo. I like how those benches surround that tree right there. That's pretty dope. Like circles around that tree. That's really cool. This bench is in love and memory of Gene Mathis and George Stephen Mathis. Shout out to them. And here goes the Harrison County Courthouse right here. Again, Harrison County is the county in which Corydon is a seat of. Here's another historical marker right here. This is of Polly Strong in the Polly Strong slavery case. Polly Strong was born into slavery circa 1796 in the Northwest Territory. Vincenus innkeeper Hyacinth LaSalle purchased her circa 1806. Although 1816 Indiana Constitution prohibited slavery and involuntary servitude, in 1820 Strong and attorney Amory Kinney had to pursue her freedom in the Knox County Circuit Court. This court ruled that Strong remained enslaved. Wow, talk about a loophole. Strong appealed to the Indiana Supreme Court in Corydon, which ruled in State versus LaSalle, July 22nd, 1820, slavery can have no existence in Indiana. This decision did not free remaining slaves in Indiana. It did establish 1816 Indiana Constitution as the authority for decisions in Indiana courts regarding slavery and involuntary servitude, including the 1821 Mary Clark case. So this was a very landmark case, Supreme Court case, Polly Strong slavery case. A lot of you probably never heard of it. I mean, I'm myself included. There's a lot of historic landmark Supreme Court cases like Brown versus Board of Education, to name a few, but yeah, I've never heard of that particular case, but very interesting to learn. Again, some more historical buildings down this way. This is the side of the county courthouse. Here's a cannon right here. This was manufactured by the General Railway Signal Company of Rochester, New York. It's a 2.5-ton artillery piece named the German 150 mm howitzer. So another one of those World War I artifacts, if you will. And this is also where the Battle of Corydon took place during the Civil War, July 9th, 1863. So it was basically, in short, a militia commanded by Colonel Lewis Jordan, who raided this area and set up 2,400 cavalry, engaged John Hunt Morgan's raiders, and there was a warfare that took place right here. After Morgan surrounded and began shelling Corydon, Jordan surrendered with 345 men. So it looks like John Hunt Morgan came out on top of that battle. Here's a monument commemorating everyone from Corydon or Harrison County in general who lost their lives in the multiple conflicts like the Korean War, World War II, and the Vietnam War. So there you have it. It's another wartime memorial right there. And it is a marker with the history of Harrison County, which was organized in 1808 from parts of Knox and Clark counties. It was named in honor of William Henry Harrison, who owned land within the county and was territorial governor and later 9th president of the United States. 4th county formed in Indiana Territory. Original Harrison County comprised a large area, and parts went to form Washington, Perry, Orange, Crawford, and Floyd counties. 2 buildings have served as county courthouse, the original state capitol and the present courthouse, erected in 1929. County records date from 1808. Interesting. I'm outside the Corydon Democrat building, established in 1856, and it was an O'Bannon publishing company. So the O'Bannon family, again, is very synonymous with the city of Corydon. And here's the building right here, this old historical building. That looks to have been established in 1856 by the O'Bannon Publishing Company, Inc. And this right here is a photograph of the O'Bannon family, O'Bannon Publishing Company. The building was constructed in 1842 by John Slimmons for use as its residence and office. The Corydon Democrat, a weekly newspaper established in 1856, has been published by O'Bannon Publishing since 1907. 1911 is when Louis O'Bannon bought the house and moved printing operations here. The second and third floors were in later years used as a hotel and later as apartments. It also contained law offices. So this is a very historic building right here in Corydon. And this is the Harrison County Discovery Center right here, which also happens to be the site of the Harrison County Jail, which is the first log jail erected in 1809. Spire Spencer, first sheriff, killed in 1811, commanding the Harrison County Yellow Jackets in the Battle of Tippecanoe. Again, another one of those Civil War battles that took place right here in Indiana. And this is the town hall building right here, the Corydon Town Hall. It has 2018 on it, so I'm guessing that was the year that the town hall was moved into this building. The Corydon State Bank. So this was originally the building for the Corydon State Bank, which opened in March of 1922 following the failure of the Corydon National Bank. And the bank was granted its charter with the authorized capital of $50,000. So this bank was established right after the failure and crash of another bank. Okay. Here's another historical building called the F.A. Bullitt Building. This was built in the late 1800s. And this building used to be a grocery store and a drug emporium, but it now houses this back roads market, what looks like an art gallery. W.H. Keller Building, built in 1879. So again, you have a lot of these late 19th century buildings that are well preserved. This is the Harrison County Public Library over here. And this was the building where the original old Capitol building took place and organized in 1922, right across from the public square. But yes, this now houses the Harrison County Public Library. Now, this neoclassical building, which houses the Harrison County Public Library, was built in 1910. So this building is just over 115 years old. Now this building right here is called the Kentner House Inn, and it was built in 1873, restored in 1986. So essentially it was like a lodging facility, hotel, inn, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's still occupied. It doesn't look like it. But you still see it has the porch. You got a rocking chair and the little porch swing over there. So I don't know. It's a very historical building. And this is another historical jewel right here in Corydon called the Hayeswood Theater. Looks really small, but it's a historical building right here. Oh snap, they have a Detroit style pizza restaurant across the street. Detroit style pizza called Fat Dough. Interesting, that building right over there. There you go. They even have an EV fast charging machines, a couple of them over there. And again, those are powered by Duke Energy. So again, you see it, you're going to see a lot of these in most cities and towns. You're going to see a lot of these like EV fast charging. You see right here, it's 2 slots for EVs. So you can just park and plug. Not my style personally. I much rather, you know, put gasoline, operate a vehicle, buy fuel, petroleum, but you know, to each its own. To all you EV fans out there, Tesla fans and whatnot, here you go. And that brings me to the conclusion of this vlog right here in Corydon, Indiana. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. With that in mind, good people, take care and have a great day. Peace.